What's happening, everyone? I'm going to be giving you my list of my top 10 current favorite WWE wrestlers. Let's waste no time and get into it. Number one, Neville. Ever since Neville pretty much became the Cruiserweight Champion, to me, he's been on a roll. I'm loving the heel thing he's doing right now. Uh, he is the shot in the arm that the Cruiserweight division needed, and he's the and it's the right thing to build the division around Neville because Neville has got more name recognition than half the guys on in the division, with the exception of Brian Kendrick. But there's just something about Neville in the Cruiserweight division that to me just gives it instant credibility. I think it has to go back to maybe his time at NXT and his status as a main eventer there, and he brings that to the Cruiserweight division to give it some more legitimacy. And not only that, Neville's a really good wrestler. And ever since he adopted that more grounded style, he's actually getting a chance to showcase that. He's more than just flips and kicks. The guy can actually go down there and actually have a pretty good hold for hold match. And I like the stuff with Aries for the most part. I think it's pretty good. And hopefully, when Neville's time as a Cruiserweight champion is over and done, he could hopefully excel to maybe the U.S. title, to maybe the Intercontinental Championship. We'll see how it plays out. But speaking of Aries, my number 9 favorite wrestler right now is Austin Aries. I have been following Austin Aries since 2004. I am a huge Austin Aries fan, the greatest man that ever lived, a double. I think that when he does eventually take the belt off Neville, and to me, Neville will break off into the Intercontinental division, Aries is another guy with that name recognition and value that can continue to hold up that Cruiserweight division. I mean, the Cruiserweight division itself is still pretty much still underutilized, but if you built it around a guy like an Aries, hopefully they can do something with it, because Aries has got a lot of talent. He is, in my opinion, one of the most underrated wrestlers on the WWE roster, because the guy can go. He can wrestle a smooth match, and he can go down and brawl with you. And like I said before, I think his stuff with Neville is pretty damn good. And when Aries does eventually beat Neville, if I was booking, I would build that division around Aries and throw Neville into the IC title mix, which desperately needs some new faces. But we go on to SmackDown, and my number 8 pick is Shinsuke Nakamura. Ever since last year, when I saw Wrestle Kingdom and he and AJ Styles had a kick-ass match, in my opinion, the match of the night, Nakamura sold me on. I was sold on Nakamura, and then his NXT run was pretty damn good too. That match with Sami Zayn was good. His feud with Samoa Joe, while not bad, wasn't anything spectacular, but they didn't go into the arena to stink up the joint either. But yeah, Nakamura's run in NXT was, you could say successful. 2-time champion, has some good matches, and the man just has charisma. He just has that unspoken charisma. He's one of those guys that doesn't need to talk. Just play his music and boom, it's over. So yeah, I expect big things for Nakamura, not this year, but mostly for next year. Hopefully they don't underutilize him and actually take him and treat him seriously. And I highly anticipate him and AJ Styles to face at WrestleMania in a rematch from the Wrestle Kingdom match, because I think that's going to be the match that will steal the show. Hopefully they go that course, but Nakamura definitely is number 8. My number 7 is the current NXT champion, Glorious Bobby Roode. I'm going to say this. When Bobby Roode was in TNA, I didn't really care. I thought Bobby Roode was just generic. To me, he didn't really stand out from the crowd, didn't really have a lot of personality. But the second he came to WWE and debuted in NXT, he looked like a star. I mean, I think TNA is so Bush League that all the wrestlers look Bush League. And WWE just has a way of presenting their talents as these stars. And Roode, his first night out, looked like a megastar. And to me, he's been a pretty solid NXT champion. Right now, the brand is being built around Bobby Roode, and I think it's for the better for right now. And I highly anticipate Bobby Roode's ascension to the main roster, hopefully post SummerSlam. But we'll see. But yeah. As of right now, to me, Bobby Roode is doing a fantastic job in NXT. He's carrying himself fairly well. He looks like a main eventer, looks like a champion, and hopefully that translates well when he gets to the main roster. Hopefully sooner than later. But my guess is we'll be post SummerSlam after he eventually drops the championship to who's the one that's being to Drew McIntyre, right? Drew McIntyre. But yeah, Bobby Roode, solid number 7 pick. My number 6 pick is the new face of America, my boy KO Kevin Owens. I think the whole thing with Kevin Owens and U.S. title, it can go someplace. I think it has potential to be something fairly entertaining. Kevin Owens right now, since he came in has been the best heel WWE has. Legitimate heel. The motherfucker can trash you on the mic and he won't give a damn. And of course, Kevin Owens can back it up in the ring. Of course, his Universal title run was nothing to cry over. And I think, me personally, Kevin Owens feels more comfortable with a secondary title than he does an actual top tier title. I think it's because he doesn't have to work. He doesn't have to, I think with his secondary title, he can actually sink his teeth into the material that he can be given. And when you're on that big plane, there's a lot of other factors to worry about, which can kind of take away from the creativeness of something. But I think him in the second tier for right now is really good, and maybe it could season him more for when he does eventually go back to the top tier. He would have a more seasoned. He would be more seasoned I think. And to me, when he does eventually get the WWE title on SmackDown, it could probably mean more. But I think as of right now, Kevin Owens is fine as the United States champion. I'm entertained by it. The new face of America, Kevin Owens, KO number 6. Number 5, my man, the phenomenal AJ Styles. It's safe to say that 2016 was the year of AJ Styles. WWE pretty much once when the summer came when they had the branch, but AJ Styles was the guy. He was pretty much SmackDown was pretty much built around AJ Styles, and for damn good reason. AJ Styles I've been a fan of AJ since I first saw him in TNA in 2002. The man is phenomenal, and at this stage of career, he's better now than he's ever been, and you really can't argue that point. He went from being this reckless high flyer to actually honing his craft as an in-ring competitor, and he can still do. He still does the high flying, but he also does but he also can prove that he can actually go down there and actually wrestle, and he can tell a story, and he can sell, and he has pretty much proven he can pretty much have a good match or a decent match with almost anybody on the roster, and that alone is why he is phenomenal. So, and yes, I expect 2017 to be another, awesome year for AJ Styles, and I cannot wait for him to get back the championship when he eventually does and hold it on to WrestleMania. So AJ Styles, solid number 5. My number 4 is Samoa Joe. Like AJ Styles, I've been a huge fan of Samoa Joe for a very, very long time. Kind of probably from 2003 when he first won the ROH championship and had that near 2-year reign. His ascension to his work in NXT was great. Samoa Joe came across as, in my opinion, Samoa Joe was the Brock Lesnar of NXT, just going in there and beating the shit out of everybody. But unlike Brock Lesnar, Samoa Joe can actually, tell stories in his matches. Can actually cut a, intimidating promo. And to me, Samoa Joe comes across as more of and to me, and of course that's where the comparison stops. Samoa Joe has his own way of bringing in intensity and making a match feel legit. Of course, so far on the main roster, spinning his wheels a little bit, but hopefully, by the mid-year to close to the end of the year, Samoa Joe can start to find his stride and be rid of Seth Rollins and hopefully make his way towards ascending to that Universal title picture. But as of right now, Samoa Joe is firmly placed at number 4. My number 3 is Rusev. All of last year, Rusev to me was phenomenal. He showed that he has charisma. He showed that he has underrated comedic timing. He showed that if you don't bog him down with nonsense, the guy is good. I mean, Rusev is really good. The guy can work. The guy's a really good wrestler, and he's a good worker. He's one of the few guys on the roster that actually tries to work the crowd into giving a shit about his character and his matches. And I really, really hope they put him in the Money in the Bank match and they have him win the briefcase. I mean, because to me, Rusev is no more U.S. title. Rusev has been the U.S. champion twice already. He should be in the main event right now. Rusev should be in the main event scene. The man is too talented to be stuck in mid-card hell for no reason. Hopefully, this year, going into next year, will be the year of Rusev. And if it is, count me on board because I want more Rusev on my TV screen, and I want more Rusev as a legitimate threat. And I think it's time also that Rusev gets repackaged as like a monster babyface because Rusev has a lot of likable qualities as a babyface, and I think he can excel at it. My number 2 is Braun Strowman. Without question, Braun Strowman has pretty much been one of the very few saving graces of Raw. He's entertaining to watch, despite what people may say. Braun has improved in the ring. The guy can have some good matches. You know, his matches with Big Show were surprisingly good. His matches with Roman Reigns were really, were decent. Even if I think the feud is just really blah, the matches are okay, I guess. But Braun Strowman as a character, he's just been hitting it off the wall. The whole mystique of him being the monster among men and him being this unstoppable bulldozer, and of course the whole angle with the ambulance was just fucking over the top, Attitude Era-esque awesomeness. And when Braun Strowman, does come back from his, so-called shattered shoulder injury, I actually look forward to a Braun vs. Brock match because I am not a Brock supporter. I don't like Brock, but I can get behind a Brock Lesnar versus Braun Strowman because, it's two monsters going at it, and that'll be, make it no DQ, make a false count anywhere, just let them go out there and just beat the shit out of each other, and, maybe like the Goldberg match at WrestleMania, Brock can, in one of the very, very few rare occasions where he can actually entertain me, I think he and Strowman can be a very entertaining feud. Maybe even if it's a one-match feud, just make it happen because I would like to see it. It's a Brock Lesnar match that I actually wouldn't mind watching, and hopefully they don't make Braun look like a bitch to this idiot. But one can only hope. And of course, my number 1 favorite wrestler is the Lone Wolf, Baron Corbin. Ever since Baron Corbin debuted at NXT, I told one of my good friends, watch out for this guy. He's going to be a star. Just take a look at him. He has the look. He has the presence. He looks unique compared to everyone else on the roster. He has this, this like cool swag, this cool cocky swagger about him. He has that, and in the ring, he's actually not that bad. He is good. He ain't fantastic, but he can hold his own and he can carry his own weight. And he's not horrible to watch. Of course, they got to give him better material to work with because you can only do so much with garbage. And of course, it relies on the wrestler's term to try and make garbage work. But if the garbage is just flat out garbage, it's kind of hard to make chicken soup out of chicken shit. But and Corbin, of course, is another guy who I would like. If they won't give it to Rusev, give it to Baron Corbin. Corbin. The time is now to pull the trigger on Baron Corbin. Give him Money in the Bank. Make him the champion. I am all for Baron Corbin to be the champion. Like I said, I'm a huge Baron Corbin guy since NXT days. I really liked his whole thing where he went after the indie guys in NXT. I love that whole story. I wish they could have applied that I wish they would apply that to the main roster to give more depth to his character, because right now he's just spinning his wheels. But at the same time, you can tell that they're trying to be very careful with Baron Corbin, because Baron Corbin, to me, is the guy you should think long term to build SmackDown around. Even though AJ is the face of SmackDown, long term, Baron Corbin should be the guy who SmackDown will ultimately be built around when all is said and done. Well, those are my top 10 current favorite WWE wrestlers. Who are yours? Comment below. Let me know. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you again next time.